Since its inception, Bethesda has developed or published many great games, none of which are more prominent and popular than the Elder Scrolls and the latest Fallout titles. They're similar, but very different. The same, but unique. But which is better? That's right, what's up ladies and gentlemen, this is Josh here, as always of VaultHuntersUnion, and we are here to compare my personal two favorite video game series, the Fallout and the Elder Scrolls series. As I said, they are very similar but very different. We are here to compare the two. We're going to break it down into a few categories and see which one I like better. There's not a whole lot of categories to compare, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. So let's not waste any time, let's get started. This is... It is important to note before we get really started that because Bethesda didn't get involved in Fallout until about Fallout 3, I am only going to be focusing on games in the series up to that point and above. So for Elder Scrolls, we're going to be focusing on basically Morrowind and above, and in Fallout, we're going to be focusing on Fallout 3 and above. So in terms of core gameplay, both series play from a first-person perspective with the option to play in third person. It's kind of an over-the-shoulder look of sorts. I don't think it's really pleasant. I think most people still play from a first person. I've never seen anyone really actually play for a long time from a third-person perspective. After a short tutorial mission to teach you the controls and the basics of the game, you're pretty much free to do whatever you want at that point in all the games in the series. There is a small main story. I think Oblivion, for example, can be beaten like 4 or 5 hours. But it's easy to get lost in that with all the side quests. There's looting, collecting, and exploring. You can easily spend hundreds of hours in this game and only a short amount of time on the main story, so it's very easy to get lost. They've obviously done things from game to game in each series to improve it from the previous game, and also have done things to make it unique from each series so that they don't play the exact same, but overall, the same basic core gameplay is the same between both games. In terms of environment, the Elder Scrolls mainly focuses on medieval style as the game mainly takes place in the medieval time frames. It is a fantasy world with full of castles and other old style buildings. Oblivion was bright and it was relatively flat. Skyrim had a lot more elevation, climate, and it was a lot more dark and gloomy. The maps are very, very large and there's huge varying terrain with elevation. Now in the Fallout series, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, so Fallout 3 takes place not long after the war, so everything is destroyed. There's lots of rubble and destroyed vehicles and buildings. It looks like everything was just bombed. New Vegas isn't as bad. It's a large desert environment, so it's relatively flat. It takes place later, so it looks like everything has been cleaned up. There's still some destroyed parts though. Both games feature awesome graphics. There's lots of radiation everywhere because of the nuclear war. It really is a great environment. It's really hard to pick a winner for this one because it really depends on what you're into. If I had to pick, I would pick Fallout because Fallout 3 had one of the best environments I've ever seen in a game ever. You know, it really gave you that feeling that you're in a post-apocalyptic world. You could really get that sense that everything had been destroyed and things are kind of amok. The environments in Oblivion and Skyrim, especially Skyrim, are also amazing and look gorgeous, but the post-apocalyptic world overall is much more appealing to me. But that may be different for you. Both series have a heavy emphasis on combat. Because the Elder Scrolls games take place in a medieval environment, you'll find weapons such as staffs, maces, swords, and more. There's also bows and arrows if you're looking for more of a ranged combat. Also, Skyrim does offer dual wielding, which is an advantage because you won't find that in any Fallout games to this point. There's also plenty of armor as well. You also have the option to enchant weapons and armor to make them stronger, or even give you other unique characteristics. So there is other magic as well, including destruction magic, healing magic, conjuring magic, and more, and also the ability in Skyrim to create your own magic. The Fallout series has plenty of armor options. You can't enchant anything, but many armor does have special qualities or abilities. There is a heavy reliance in the Fallout series on guns, so there's many guns like pistols, machine guns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, and there's also even laser and plasma guns as well. Many guns can also be upgraded, so this would kind of be the equivalent of enchanting weapons. You can upgrade them with, with new sights, extended magazines, silencers, and even more. You can use hand-to-hand combat or melee weapons in the Fallout series, but there's more emphasis on guns. Melee weapons are technically stronger overall, hit for hit, but there's more variety in guns, and I think guns are overall by far the most popular choice. There's also the VAT system, which is unique to the Fallout games. It's kind of a way to assist in combat. It slows down or pauses time, and you can target various parts of enemies or even multiple enemies to help in tight situations. So in terms of a winner here, I'm going to go ahead and call this one a draw. The reason is that in the Elder Scrolls games, it's super exciting and thrilling to hit that sneak kill with arrows or a sword. It's also awesome to be able to enchant weapons and be able to create your own magic. But in Fallout, you have guns, and guns, everyone loves guns, and guns present a bit more realism, meaning, it's more like real life, and they're just overall more badass, and upgrading is pretty good too. The leveling system is one thing that makes both games unique from one another. In the Elder Scrolls series, as you do things, you get better at them. So if you jump a lot, your acrobatic skill is going to go up. If you use a sword a lot, your sword skill is going to go up, etc., etc. After you improve so many skills, you can then level up by going to sleep. You have to kind of use strategy with the leveling system though, because it's not always advantageous to level up. The reason for that is because the enemies level up with you. So if you get too high of a level and your skills aren't high enough, it's going to be really hard to play the game. So in Skyrim, you can improve one skill for free each time you leveled up. This allowed you to be better at that skill, and you could also unlock more perks. The Fallout series is kind of a lot more simple and a lot more basic. At the beginning of the games, you pick primary skills and you get kind of a boost, a little bit of extra points at those skills. Each time you level up, you get points you can allocate to the many various categories yourself, and every few levels you can also pick a perk. The Comprehension perk in Fallout 3 and the Intelligence perk in New Vegas allow you to get more points each time you level up. In all the categories we cover, I think this one here has the most clear winner, and that is the Elder Scrolls series. I think it's more lifelike because in real life, you get better at things by practicing and doing them. I really like that they've gone with this approach in the Elder Scrolls series. It's awesome to really be able to create the type of character you want as you progress, and not just through leveling up and allocating points wherever you desire. Alright guys, we have reached the end of the video, and it is time for me to now decide which series I would prefer. And day in and day out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I would always prefer the Fallout series over the Elder Scrolls series. Now the Elder Scrolls series, as I've said, does have a way better leveling system that I would definitely love to see in a Fallout universe. However, I'm all about the environment and the feel of the game, and I definitely prefer the look and feel of the Fallout series. And also I love using guns more than I do love using swords and arrows. I think if Fallout were to adopt the Elder Scrolls leveling system, at least to an extent, I think it would make Fallout that much better. But that is just my opinion, not yours. I would love to hear your guys' opinion down below in the comments section. And of course, whether or not you agreed with my opinion, I would love if you liked the video, as there's a lot of work that goes into making these kind of videos. Of course, if you are new to the channel, please feel free to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. And stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.